Assalamu alaikum students, this is Farwa Batool, your O-level computer science instructor, and welcome to another video. As we are talking about standard methods of solution, so in this video I'm going to talk about another standard method, that is the bubble sort method. A bubble sort standard method or algorithm is basically used to sort the data. I'm just writing it here. The basic purpose of this algorithm is to sort the given data. Let's suppose let's take an example. I have list of names. It can be your student names, your family names, your employee names. So what you have to do, if you have to arrange them in alphabetic order, you can use this algorithm. In the other words, let's take another example. I have list of numbers and I want to arrange them in ascending or descending order. So I can use this algorithm. So it is all about sorting your data to make it more organized. When the data is organized, we can work in a better way. So this is the basic purpose of bubble sort algorithm. Now, in order to make you clear about its working, how it works, how it sorts the data, this video is all about a general information of bubble sort algorithm, that how this algorithm is going to work. But in the next video, I'm going to show you its coding, its actual algorithm one by one, and then we will be doing the same work using those line of code. But right now, this is just general understanding of this algorithm, because it is very important to understand that how this algorithm will work so that we will understand the code. Now, for this reason, I have written here 10 numbers. These are just random numbers in my list, and I want to arrange them in ascending order. Here I have written the position of each of these numbers in my list, and these are the actual numbers that I want to sort. Now, in a bubble sort algorithm, what we need a temporary location. We call it temp. It's just like a variable where you are going to put value that you want to swap. Let me tell you how we will use it. It's a temporary variable. We call it temp, and it's just a memory location, or we call it a variable where we can store one of the values that we want to swap, so that it will not be removed or it will not be missed. Now, let me start with the working. At first, what you have to do, you have to use a for loop that will start from first iteration till the last iteration for all these 10 values. Okay, here what you have to do, you have to compare two values. Each time when the iteration begins for the for loop, you have to compare two of the numbers. Let's suppose in the very first iteration, I'm comparing first value and the second value in my list. And if 21 is greater than 35, then I have to swap. But in this case, since 21 is not less than 35, so no need to swap. Remember that we will only swap if the first value will be larger than the second value. Now, first iteration is done, no swapping required. In the second iteration, look, 35 and 60. Since 35 is also not greater than 60, what you will do, no swapping is required since my condition is false. Now, in the why I am saying that the first value must be smaller, because we have to arrange list in ascending order. And remember that ascending order means that your first value or your value that is prior must be smaller than your next value. So now in the third and the fourth term, we can see that 60 and 17. If we compare these two numbers, then 60 is greater than 17. Here the condition is true, so we need to swap. Now, this is very important to understand that if you want to swap two numbers, you cannot just directly place 60 here and place 17 here. No, you have to use a temporary location in order to swap it. Let's suppose 60 and 17 needs to be swapped. So first of all, you have to place the first value in your temporary variable, that is 60. Now, once you save the first value, you will be shifting the second value in your first location. That is 17 will be shifted at position number 3. Now, once your second value is saved, now you can shift this 60 to your fourth position like this. So that's why we use a temporary variable so that our values will be saved and it will never be missed. Now we are done with swapping of third and fourth term. Similarly, we will go for fourth and fifth term because for every iteration you have to check for the next two values. Now 4 and 5 will be compared. 60 is greater than 91? No, it's smaller. That's why no swapping is needed. But in the next iteration, when I will be looking fifth and the sixth value, then I will see that 91 is greater than 46. So I have to swap because the greater number must be at the end. So what I will do, I will perform the same thing. I will save first the 91 value in a temporary variable. I will place it here. Once it is in temporary variable, now you can move 46 at position number 5. And then once 46 is moved to its actual place, then you will place 91 at position number 6. Here, fifth and the sixth term are swapped. Now, in the next iteration, sixth and the seventh value will be compared. So, remember that 91 is greater than 57. Again, condition is true, the first value is larger, we need to swap. In this case, again, we will put 91 in temporary variable and then once 57 will be placed at sixth position, then we can place 91 at seventh position here like this. Now, after that, you have to check for the seventh and the eighth term. Now, the seventh term is 91. It is greater than 29. What you have to do, again, you have to change or swap the terms. So, 91 will be placed in temporary variable first. 29 will be placed at position number 7. And then 91 will be placed at position number 8. So, this is done. Now, for the next iteration, you have to compare 8th and the 9th term. Of course, 91 is greater than 2. So we need a swap. 91 placed in temporary variable, 2 will be placed at position 8 and after that 91 will be placed at position number 9. Writing it here, 91. Now the last two terms, the 9th and the 10th terms. 91 is greater than 31. So we need a swap. 91 will be placed in temporary variable and 31 will be placed at position 9 and 91 will be placed at position number 10. Now the good thing about all these iterations or the first for loop is that the largest number will come at the end. So if you see that out of all these numbers, my largest number was 91 and it came at its exact position, that is at the end of a list. In ascending order, remember that we need the largest number at the end or at the last position. So 91 has come at position number 10. So this is done for the first for loop. Now, remember that only one term is at its final destination or final position, but all the other terms needs to be swept again. Why? Because look at fourth and fifth term. 60 is still greater than 46. Look at 57 and 29. 29 is greater than 57 is greater than 29. So some swapping is already needed. Only we are confirmed with the last value. So every time when we run the for loop, the last term that we are getting, or the last iteration, that will, what will it do? It will just put the value, the last value at its correct position. I'll tell you how it works again. Now there is no need to work for 10th term. Now we will be working till our 9th term and do the same working again. What? Comparing the two values. 21, 35, no swapping needed. 35 and 17, swapping is required. So for swapping, we will be using a temp variable. Again, the same thing. 35 is placed in temporary variable. 17 is placed at position number 2. 35 at position number 3 from the temp variable. Done with second and third term. Now quickly moving towards third and the fourth term. No swapping is needed. 35 is less than 60. Now 60 and 46. Of course 60 is greater than 46. So we need a swap. We have to place 60 in temporary variable first. Then 46 will be placed at position number 4, and then once 46 is moved at its position, then 60 will be placed at position number 5. So in this way, fourth and the fifth term are swept. Now the next term, 60 and 40, 57. Again we need a swap. 60 is greater than 57. Put 60 in temporary variable. Put 57 at fifth position and put 60 here in sixth position. Now 60 and 29, swapping is required. So what you have to do, first put 60 in temporary variable, put 29 at sixth position and put, sorry for this, 60 at seventh position. Okay. 60 is at seventh position. Now seventh and eighth term. 60 is greater than 2. Place 60 in temporary variable, 2 at position number 7 and 60 at position number 8. Now comparing 8 and 9 term, we need a swap. Put 60 in temporary variable, 31 at position number 8 and 60 at position number 9. So no need to work for 9th and the 10th term, because 10th term is already has a desired value. Now at the end of this for loop, look at the 9th term. We have the second largest value at its right position. So this is what I wanted to tell you, that after the end of every for loop, you will get the largest number at the end or at the right position. Now, again, since 9th and the 10th term are at its right position, but all the other terms needs more swapping. So this time the for loop will run from 1 till 8. So we have to check from the first term till the 8th term that is there any swapping required or not. So 21 and 17, we need a swap. 17 will be placed 21 will be placed in temporary variable, then 17 at position number 1, and then 21 at position number 2. Now 21 and 35, no swapping required in second and third term. 35 and 46, no swapping required. 46 and 57, no swapping required. 57 and 29, swapping is needed. So 57 is placed in temporary variable. Then 29 will be placed at fifth position and 57 will be placed at sixth position. After that, 57 and 2 swapping is needed. 57 is placed in temporary variable, 2 is placed in 6th position, and 57 in 7th position. Now 57 and 31 swapping is needed. 57 placed in temporary variable, 31 at 7th position, and 57 at 8th position. So again, by the end of this for loop, 57 at its right position, that is the third largest value at position number 8. Now in the next for loop, we are not supposed to see the 8th term as well. Every time we start with another for loop, one less term will be observed. Now, first and the second term, 17 is less than 21, no swapping needed. Second and the third term, 21 is less than 35, no swapping needed. 35 is less than 46, no swapping needed. But here, in the fourth and the fifth term, 46 is greater than 29, so we need to swap. 46 will be placed in temporary variable, then 29 will be placed at position number 4 and 46 at position number 5. Now, 46 and 2 will be compared. Okay, this time place 2 in 5th position and 46 in 6th position. Now 6th and the 7th term, 46 is greater than 31. Change or swap the terms, 31 here and 46 here. So by the end of this for loop, the 7th term is at its right position, that is the 4th largest term, 46. After that, we will look for 1 till 6th term. So 17 and 21, no swapping needed. 21 and 35, no swapping needed. 35 and 29, we need a swap here. So 35 is placed in temporary variable. Then 29 at position number 3 and 35 at position number 4. Next, 35 and 2, we need a swap. 35 in temporary variable, 2 at position number 5, 4, and 35 at position number 5. 35 and 31, swapping needed. 35 in temporary variable, 31 at 5th position, and 35 at 6th position. By the end of this for loop, the 6th term is finalized. So, for the next for loop, we will be looking at first 5 terms. 17 and 21, no swapping. 21, 29, no swapping. 29 and 2, swapping is needed. So 29 will be placed in temporary variable. 2 will be placed at position 3 and 29 at position 4. Now 29 and 31, no swapping needed. Again, for the next term, whenever you do a swap, you have to go for another for loop. This time the 5th term is at its right position, so no need to consider 5th term again. Now look for first 4 terms. 17 and 21, no swapping needed. 21 and 2, swapping is needed. So 21 will be placed in temporary variable, 2 will be placed at position 2 and 21 at position number 3. 21 and 29, no swapping is needed. Since we are done with one swap, so we have to check for another for loop. 29 is at its final destination. Now check for the first 3 terms. 17 and 2, we need a swap. 17 will be placed in temporary variable, 2 will be placed at position number 1 and 17 at position number 2. Since we are done with one swap, again, for second and third value, 17 is less than 21, no swapping is needed. The third value is fine, no need to swap. Now for the last for loop, check for first and the second term. 2 is less than 17, no swapping is needed, so both are at its right position. So in this way, a bubble sort algorithm works, that it checks for first 2 terms, then the next 2 terms, then the next 2 terms, and so on. And it requires so many iterations, but every time one iteration becomes less for the next for loop. So this is how it works and how it arranges and sorts the given numbers in ascending, or we can also do it in descending order. Now this same working will be done by using the code. So you know that how the line of code for the bubble sort algorithm works. That will be shown in the next video. Please stay tuned, stay connected, and do not forget to subscribe the video. Bye bye. Sorry, subscribe the channel and watch the video. Bye bye.